What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com. Here are my DFS picks for NBA Friday, February 9th. These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you don't miss our new videos. In this video, I'm going to go over my top picks for today's NBA slate. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, so we have a 6-game NBA slate tonight. So let's take a look at the point guard position. Okay, so I like CJ McCollum from the New Orleans Pelicans playing the LA Lakers, who have the 7th worst defense overall. They give up the 6th most fantasy points to opposing point guards, and CJ McCollum has averaged 36.6 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 32 minutes per game with a 24% usage rate, and he's projected at 34.9 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.2 times value. He's 6,700 DraftKings salary, 1,100 more on FanDuel, and Vegas thinks there's going to be 235.5 points scored in this game. And CJ McCollum has scored 43, 39, and 37 fantasy points in his last 3 games, playing 36, 22, and 38 minutes. And he also has pretty good player versus team history here. CJ McCollum scored 48, 21, 30, 47, and 40 fantasy points in his last 5 games versus the Lakers. So CJ McCollum, good matchup, playing a bunch of minutes, super productive, and I think he's going to put up 40 plus fantasy points here tonight. So I like CJ McCollum here versus the LA Lakers. Okay, let's take a look at the shooting guard position. So I've got a value play. I think he's priced right here. Although I do think he's underpriced for his upside. He's a DFS player. I wouldn't play him in cash, but I like a DFS player. He's a tournament player, so he's high risk, high reward here. So anyways, I like Malik Monk from the Sacramento Kings playing the Denver Nuggets, who have a good defense overall, and they're middle of the pack defending opposing shooting guards. So Malik Monk, I guess I wouldn't even say high risk, high reward here. I'll just call him a value play. Malik Monk averaging 28.9 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 26 minutes per game with a 25% usage rate. Now he's projected at 29.3 fantasy points here tonight. That's 5.2 times value. He's 5,600 DraftKings salary, 1,200 more on FanDuel. And Vegas thinks there's going to be 232.5 points scored in this game. Now, Malik Monk has scored 50, 25, and 41 fantasy points in his last 3 games, playing 34, 23, and 33 minutes. So he's a points per minute monster. He scores 1.15 fantasy points per minute, or he averages 1.15 fantasy points per minute. So if he's out there for 30 minutes, chances are he's going to get you over 30 fantasy points, and that'll be well over 5 times value. So I do think he's underpriced. I think he's a value play here, and I think you can play him in any format. So I like Malik Monk here versus the Denver Nuggets. Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won. And then we'll send you $25 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you. Okay, let's take a look at the small forward position. Now, here's a sleeper pick. I like Dyson Daniels from the New Orleans Pelicans playing the Los Angeles Lakers, who have the 7th worst defense overall, give up the 6th most fantasy points to opposing small forwards. Now, Dyson Daniels, averaging 17.5 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 22 minutes per game with a 13% usage rate. He's projected at 16.6 fantasy points here tonight. That's 4.6 times value. So he's only $3,600 DraftKings salary. Now he is $1,300 more on FanDuel. So I love that DraftKings price. And Vegas thinks there's going to be 235.5 points scored in this game. Dyson Daniels has scored 28, 23, and 23 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 21, 21, and 21 minutes. So playing consistent minutes, looks like he's found a rhythm and he's got a good matchup, and he's still super low price tag here on DraftKings. So I like Dyson Daniels here versus the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay, let's take a look at the power forward position. So I like Kristaps Porzingis. Actually, I'm going to give you him at the center position. Or will I? No, I will. But let me take a look. I had another power forward. Okay, yeah, so at the power forward position, you got another sleeper pick. I dug hard for this one because I didn't want to give you Kristaps Porzingis at the power forward position. I wanted to dig deep here and find a good play. And I went through all these players and I think I found a gem for this slate. Take a look at Trey Lyles from the Sacramento Kings playing the Denver Nuggets, who had the worst defense overall, and they give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing power forwards. So Trey Lyles, he's averaged 16.8 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 20 minutes per game with a 14% usage rate. So he's projected at 15.9 fantasy points here tonight. Now that's only 4.4 times value, but that projection is a little bit low. I think it can easily get, well, not easily, but I think he can get you 20 plus fantasy points here tonight and get you over 5 times value. He's only $3,600 DraftKings salary, $900 more on FanDuel. Vegas thinks there's going to be 232.5 points scored in this game. And Trey Lyles has scored 28, 16, and 32 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 22, 18, and 23 minutes. So consistent minutes, consistent production, with 2 out of those 3 of his last games being pretty monster games for his price tag. So I like Trey Lyles here versus the Denver Nuggets.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, moving on to the center position. Big surprise here, guys. It's Kristaps Porzingis. And one of the reasons I like this pick is because, what's his name there? Jason Tatum. I was going to say Justin Timberlake, but Jason Tatum, he is questionable for tonight's game. So if Jason Tatum doesn't play, that's going to open up a lot of usage, a lot more usage for the ball for Kristaps Porzingis, and his price is still under $8K. So, and he's got a fantastic matchup here tonight. So I like Kristaps Porzingis from the Boston Celtics playing the Washington Wizards, who have the absolute worst defense overall, give up the absolute most fantasy points to opposing centers. Kristaps Porzingis, averaging 36.7 fantasy points per game on the season, playing an average of 30 minutes per game with a 25% usage rate. He's projected at 36.2 fantasy points here tonight, but I think that projection is super low considering the matchup and considering he could get a bump in usage rate like he has the past 3 games. So he could be on track for 40 plus fantasy points here tonight pretty easily. That'd be 5 plus times value. So let's take a look. Let's see if he scored 40 fantasy points. You can put your own projections in here. And then when you load the page, you're going to see that would be, if he scored 40 fantasy points here tonight, which I think is pretty easy for him, that's 5.1 times value. So he's 7,900 DraftKings salary, 500 more on FanDuel. And he scored 40, 46, and 41 fantasy points in the last 3 games, playing 31, 27, and 29 minutes. Let's see how he's done here. Modest games versus the Washington Wizards. Scored 29, 34, and 31 fantasy points, but we'd have to check to see if those were games with the Celtics. But either way here, guys, he's in a great spot, so I like Kristaps Porzingis here versus the Washington Wizards.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again and good luck.